everyone to another evening with Theater 444. I'm Greg, and we are here to meet the cast and creative team behind the Tempest, Theater 444's most recent, not even recent, most upcoming. It is the most upcoming. This is off to a great start. Really strong. Upcoming production of the Tempest. Very different, very fascinating. We're marketing it as a party. It is a party. I'm going to ask you how it's a party because normally we don't associate Shakespeare's The Tempest with a party. So we'll get to that. If you're joining us, please let us know who's here in the comments. My mom already said, hi, Greg. So hi, Mom. I didn't talk to you yet today. How are you? And if you're joining us at any other point in time, leave us a comment, ask a question. We will be happy to include you in this Meet the Cast and Crew. So let's dive right in. Nick here is our director, really the first director of a Theater 444 production that is not Pam Raposa, Madam Artistic Director. So Nick,
that's exciting, right? I'm excited.
I'm really excited. I'm pretty honored because this group has done such amazing performances in the past that it's really cool to follow that legacy.
Nick, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? And then I do want to hear, how is the Tempest a party?
Okay, well, first of all, my name is Nick Bissett, and I am directing this version of The Tempest you're about to see. I teach high school English and theater, and I've done a lot of directing and acting, singing, performing within the area. So this is my first time, as we mentioned, directing for Theater 444. And I am really excited because this version of The Tempest is not what you would typically be expecting with Shakespeare. You know, when we think of Shakespeare, we tend to think of this very dry, stuffy, over-dramatic kind of thing. But The Tempest is full of magic. It's about the joy of performance. It's about healing. It's about all of these things that I think we could really use right now. The characters are shipwrecked on this tropical island, and magical things start to happen. So we are going to try to share some of that experience with the audience at home. There will be surprises throughout this show. We will incorporate a lot of different things, such as some puppetry. There'll be some singing. There's some dancing in a place. And of course, there are the optional party boxes that can be ordered. These party boxes will arrive at your house full of goodies. They will have some snacks, they will have some candy, they will have some costume and prop pieces, and they will have cocktail or mocktail ingredients if you don't drink alcohol, so that won't be a problem. And throughout the show, based on what's happening in various scenes, there will be cues for you to join in, having a snack, dressing up, playing along with the cast on screen, sort of Rocky Horror Picture Show style, right? And that's going to be pretty fun because seeing a show remotely can be a very alienating, isolating experience. But if you're playing along with the cast and you can take selfies and send them to each other at Theater 444, there'll be a chat on the side. It's a full community kind of event, which is something I know I've been really missing. And this is a great celebration. It'll be fun to have a night out, even if it's on the couch.
Yeah.
No. Oh, man, Greg, you should see my living room. I mean, I got boxes everywhere. It's like Oriental trading threw up in my living room. It's awesome.
This is party box preparation?
Yes. We've got tons of stuff going in the box.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I should mention right now that just because the show is kind of immersive and there's that interactive component, nobody will see you sitting on your couch in your pajamas, okay? We will not turn your cameras on and show anybody what you're doing or anything like that. You will be safe at home hiding, wear what you want, do what you want, okay?
So Pam, This isn't Theater 444's first venture into streaming theater during this pandemic. Can you talk to us a little bit about why the Tempest? Because I know you also carefully select what Theater 444 produces.
Mm-hmm. Well, we just finished Daddy Longlegs. That just closed. We did a virtual live production in November, and it went so well. We were so proud of it and pleased with the outcome. And we left it up for on-demand streaming for a few months, and it just closed like last weekend. And many people came back and watched it again. And we were so thrilled that people were interested to do that. It has a really soft spot in my heart because it was during a time when we didn't know if we were going to be able to do what we do for a really long time. So it meant a lot to all of us that did that show. It also taught us a lot about virtual theater and what that looks like and how it can sound. And it made us really brave because now we feel like we can do anything, you know? And Nick came to me with this idea and I said, let's do it. Nick was actually slotted to do a Shakespeare play prior to all of this happening. COVID, we had scheduled Romeo and Juliet for last summer and we had to cancel it because of COVID. So it was an easy jump for us to pick another Shakespeare play. Nick wanted to do something fun that people could get into and enjoy, and he had a vision for this. And I was like, let's go for it. And we're ready for it. So this is a little bit different than Daddy Longlegs because that was actually live in the theater. We were in the theater. This is virtual across the country. We have actors that have joined us from all over the country that you're going to meet tonight. It's so exciting to see so many new faces involved with us. And that's not something that we could normally do. So we're really trying to embrace this opportunity.
That's very exciting. Yeah, of course, we wouldn't ever be able to do theater with people from all over the country in a normal time.
Right, right.
So what a neat opportunity for the situation we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Garrett Coons, tech wizard, behind many of Theater 444's masterpieces. How is this different from your end? Because it's not performed live in person like Daddy Longlegs. Everyone is in their own homes all over the country. I'm assuming we're not going to be looking at something that looks like we're all in a Zoom meeting.
Absolutely not. So there is amazing software that has come out in the past couple months due to the pandemic that is allowing us to do this production. And that's software that's making it look so that it's not in a Zoom meeting. We have, I think Pam has a picture she's going to pop up here as I talk. That's just a mock-up with 2 pictures of me, but really that'll be filled with other actors, and it's got backgrounds, and it tells you at the top what your interactive item is, and you get a key code that tells you what that drink is there in the center and how to make it. So we're doing a lot of different looks, really kind of pushing the limits. It's just, there's so much technically that goes into this. It's probably the most technical show I've worked on in a very, very long time.
And if work Zoom meetings looked more like that picture, we might complain less about it.
Right?
Absolutely.
Including a little drink icon.
Perfect.
That looks really fun, Garrett. I can't wait to see how that's all been put together.
Me too. We're supposed to do our first little tech powwow tomorrow during rehearsal, so I'm excited to finally get everybody in there and really get a grip on how it's looking.
Yeah, and we'll be able to change the size of the windows and the layouts of them, so it'll look a lot like staging, right? But in a very different, inventive format, which Garrett is a master at.
So, audience members at home, if you are experiencing Zoom fatigue or any other kind of virtual fatigue, that is not a good excuse for skipping the Tempest, right?
Correct.
It sounds like this is going to be a very different visual experience, which is exciting. So we have one member here who's not been involved with Theater 444 in a while or ever.
I mean, in a while. I was there at the start.
She was.
Okay, I thought so, but I was not. So this is Mackenzie Wood. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Mackie?
Sure. I am Mackenzie, as Greg just introduced. I have been doing theater since I was a senior in high school, and stage managing is one of my favorite things in the world. Pam gave me the opportunity to stage manage for her on her flagship production of Spring Awakening, and I have been thrilled to be a part of several productions afterwards, even just as an audience member.
I know you have been away from theater for a long time because we've been friends for several years now. So I know that I saw you post something really special on Facebook about getting back into stage managing, diving into the Tempest. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the experience has been like to not have your regular theater projects? Because I know you stay very busy. And we were on a board of directors together for years. So
yeah.
And now to have the Tempest.
It's been really difficult not to have the regular productions. You're so used to being like, okay, I'm finishing up this one. I've got this one lined up. I've got this one that might be in the fall. And then that just was taken away. And it's been a really rough year to not have that. Theater is almost like therapy for me in a lot of ways, you know? And to not get that interaction on the regular basis was very difficult. And then when Nick asked if I was willing to stage manage for him, I was like, yes. I don't know what that means because it's all virtual, but yes.
How is that similar or different so far?
The similarities really are limited to the paperwork side of everything. The differences are pretty significant when it comes to, as a stage manager, I'm looking for cues of distress from the actors or physical cues that somebody forgot a prop or somebody needs a prompt with some set piece or something. And I can't do that. I'm not there to help them with, oh, you need this prop now. I can't do that. So it's a lot more writing and personal, like, okay, I'm going to email you now to remind you about this instead of like taking you aside after rehearsal. But it takes some adjustment to get used to not being able to look somebody in the face and like look at their body language and make sure that they're doing okay.
Right. And a question for the entire room. Why should people buy a ticket and a party box for the Tempest?
I guess I'll go first because I don't think this is something that you will ever see again. The way that we're doing it, it's a very, very unique to this show kind of thing, at least from tech wise. So I don't think you'll ever see something like this being produced by another theater company in our area, at least.
I think the party boxes really make it accessible to everybody. You know, sometimes Shakespeare's a little scary to some people because they don't feel like they will follow or they will understand the language. And this is going to make it really easy to follow along and have some fun with and be part of. So that really makes it accessible to everybody.
Yes, and this is a particularly accessible version. It really highlights the comedy and the joy and the clarity of what exactly is happening here. And there is that interactive component that makes it a lot of just fun and joy, which is what I know I personally need right now. So I think that that's a big part of this. It's been so long since people had things to look forward to. And normally there might be a night out to go to a show and then maybe have desserts and drinks afterwards. And now, well, we'll just bring it all to you. That's really what this is all about.
And the cast, you do not want to miss this cast. They are so talented. It is very difficult for me not to be dying of laughter every single rehearsal. They are all very good.
Yeah, yeah. They are hysterical, they are thoughtful, and everything is very deeply felt. Their performances, I just marvel at them every time. And we won't have a chance to see this same group ever together again, since they are from such vastly different parts of the state, parts of the country, and yet they formed this really natural, cohesive group that they're just a lot of fun to be around at every rehearsal, something I look forward to every evening.
It sounds like a party. We have so many different cast members to meet. I don't want to push you all along, but is there anything else you want to share before we move on to meeting some of the cast?
Just that it is the time right now to support small theater. We need you because we don't have the backing of big corporations or large fund groups. We need you, and now's the time to make that happen.
Perfect.
I can't beat that, you know.
Wonderful.
I don't want to follow that. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mackenzie and Garrett, for being here. Pam, we'll see you a little later. Nick's going to hang around. And just in case anyone is worried about not knowing what the Tempest is about, here are some very adorable children from the Royal Shakespeare Company telling you the story.
We're Links Primary School and we're going to tell you the William Shakespeare play, The Tempest. On a dark, wild night, a ship is caught in a violent storm. Thunder roars, lightning strikes the waves, the passengers are thrown off into the sea.
On a distant island, the great magician Prospero watches the shipwreck with his daughter Miranda. He tells her all about how he used to be the Duke in Italy before his brother tried to take his place.
Prospero and Miranda were left stranded at sea, but they were saved by Prospero's magic. They lived on the island for 12 whole years. Prospero and Miranda share the island with spirits including Ariel, Prospero's spirit servant.
The other human on the island is Wild Caliban.
The ship that was caught in the storm is carrying Prospero's enemies, including his brother and the king.
Prospero thinks that his enemies have been brought to him so he can carry out his revenge.
Ferdinand, the king's son, also arrives on the island, separated from others from the shipwreck. He is discovered by Miranda and Prospero, and Miranda falls in love with him at first sight.
The other people from the shipwreck are sad because they think Ferdinand is dead, but they soon begin to plot against one another, as they all want to control the island.
But Prospero is too clever for them all, and he tricks them. Eventually, the magical spirit Ariel brings them all before the king, and Prospero forgives them.
Prospero reveals that Ferdinand is not dead, and gives his blessing for Miranda and Ferdinand to get married. At the end, Prospero grants to Ariel his greatest wish and sets him free.
Hello. Welcome back. Hi, everybody. I don't know everybody in our little room right now, so that's exciting. If you're watching at home, we're now here with Simon Moody, Jenny Gibson, Hillary Chaya, Abigail Reagan, and Madeline Utman. So welcome to Theater 444.
Hi.
Hi!
Oh, I can hear you, dear.
I would love to go around the room and hear who you are playing in The Tempest and where you are from in the world. So how about we start with Jenny?
Sure. Hi. I'm playing Iris, the goddess of rainbows, And I am coming from Canisius, New York.
And Jenny, you have been involved in Theater 444 shows in the past.
Yes, I was lucky enough to be part of Spring Awakening, Pam's first show with this company.
Great. And just knowing you personally, I can't think of any better role for you than then what were you, Fairy of the Rainbows?
Goddess of Rainbows.
Goddess of Rainbows.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Wait till you see my hair for the show.
I'm excited. I can't wait. How about Abigail? Welcome back.
Thank you. I am playing a fairy spirit in the show, hence the pink hair. And I'm from Seneca Falls, New York.
Great. How did you find out about the Tempest?
So it's echoing a little. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I heard about the Tempest from Facebook. I follow Theater 444 since doing Daddy Long Legs in the fall.
Understudy extraordinaire.
Yeah, I've been staying updated on everything. So, yes.
Great. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And Hillary, it's exciting to see you here because, well, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hillary Chaya. I live in Webster, New York. I have been doing theater with Pam, I think, for 12 years now, as long as I've been doing theater with Jenny. And I've never been on stage before. I've worked as the music director. So this is a bucket list item for me to be in a show. And I'm kind of a closeted Shakespeare fan. And I'm super excited to be able to work with everybody. And Nick, I love you. I'm glad I can work with you.
I love you too, Hillary. I'm so glad you're part of this.
And I play the character Ceres. She is also a goddess, the goddess of harvest and bounty, which is clearly also typecasting. Just kidding. It's very exciting.
So Siri, like the voice on all of our phones?
No, Ceres. Ceres.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Okay.
Yes, she gets her name to cereal.
Yeah.
There we go.
Demeter to the Greeks.
And Madeline, I don't think I know you at all. Hello, where are you from?
Hi, I'm Madeline Utman. I am playing another fairy spirit, and I'm from Rochester, New York, specifically the Pittsford area.
Great. How did you find about Theater 444 and the Tempest?
I also found it on Facebook, but I didn't find it through their account. There was a Facebook group that has casting calls in the local area, and that was posted on there, and so I saw it from there, and I got in contact with people involved in the show, and I got the information about it, and then I auditioned for it, and I got in the show, so that was fun.
Great. Are you enjoying your experience so far?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I as an actor have missed like being able to do theater, and especially like since it's so dicey with live theater, I didn't want to like do many opportunities that would require me to be close to people. Because as much as I love live theater, I think right now we have to try to stay at home as best we can. So I was excited that I got the opportunity to be safe, but also do theater.
Great. Thank you for being here. Welcome. And last but not least, Simon, who are you playing in The Tempest?
Well, I had the great pleasure of playing the third coconut tree on the left. I doubled that role with also being the coconut collector. But other than that, I play Prospero.
A very small role.
Yes. A couple of lines here and there.
Yeah, and sharing it with Helen Mirren, who, who is she? Forget her.
Oh, I can never forget Helen. She and I go way back.
And Simon, how has your experience been so far, and where do you come from?
Well, I come from a little town in the middle of Australia called Alice Springs, where I was a hot air balloonist and then decided to see what I could do over here in America. Not too many openings for that, so I went into theater instead.
I can already tell why Mackenzie laughs the entire rehearsal process.
Oh, I have no idea. Surely I have nothing to do with that.
So a question for all of you again, like before, is why should people come see the Tempest? Why should they buy tickets? And what is your favorite part of being involved so far? We can go the same order, Jenny, if you don't mind going first.
People should see this show and buy tickets because it's the most unique take on Shakespeare that I've certainly ever heard of or seen. And my favorite part so far has been I got to choreograph a little dance number for the fairies, and that was a muscle I haven't used in many, many years. And it was so fun, and the fairy girls are amazing, and we've had so much fun working on it together. And it's just brought me a lot of joy during this crazy time. So I'm grateful to Nick for that opportunity to choreograph a little bit.
I think everyone should see the show because I agree with everything that Jenny said, every single word. I'm also very grateful. But I think the cast is such a unique group of people, and I think that's just, it's so rare to be able to have people from everywhere working on one show, because typically in live theater, it's people, who can commute to rehearsal every day. And being online, we're fortunate enough to be able to kind of combine our forces from a lot of different places and put on an amazing show. And I think that's really cool and unique.
I would echo all of that, but I'd also say that if you haven't seen a show that Theater 444 has produced before, now is the time. Every thing that Pam touches as a director and producer, and knowing Nick as a director also, the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. This is high quality professional level theater done with community members. And I also think for, bringing us together as a community, our day jobs are not necessarily acting, and really pushing us out of our comfort zones, and just encouraging us to get crazy and have a lot of fun with this. So I think people are really in for a treat. Buy your tickets now and your party boxes.
Yeah, I definitely think I echo what everyone else has been saying, but I also like what Nick has been saying about like how you will never see this kind of cast again, and that be able to have people from across the country be in this. Like, we could only do it if it was virtual because of the fact that people are so far away. And I think the fact that seeing a crowd of people that not necessarily would usually do theater together kind of puts like a new flavor to it, even if it's not overt. Like, I think there's definitely a different energy. So I think people will get that out of it. And also just, I think even if you're not an actor or a performer yourself, I think there's so much passion and so much joy that comes from the theater that even if you don't understand something completely, or even if it's not like quote unquote a happy play, I think you can still get something from it. And I think it can be really inspiring at the same time, because I think art can really inspire what's going on in our communities right now. And I think just intersecting that with like the things that are happening in our community and being able to see that through theater, you can see how art can kind of inform that. And I think it's not just escapism, but it's also just inspiration. So,
well, I suppose it's my turn again, is it? Well, why should
yes, please.
Why should people come and see this show? Well, for all the reasons previously stated, but moreover, people have to consider that theatre has been a part of our lives for generations, for decades, for centuries, in fact. And one of the joys of doing theatre is seeing how theatre has always adapted to the times. And we are now in very interesting times, which allows for a number of different people, and primarily behind the scenes, to be able to help produce a quality show without, as someone mentioned, having to commute to rehearsals and everything else. But moreover, for our audience, they don't have to line up for tickets or call ahead. You get to watch, you get to enjoy, and quite frankly, if you like, pause us while you pop off to the potty or whatever you want to do. And you get to enjoy the show on your time, on your terms. And a joy of the party box. You get to it's an innovative virtual performance, much the same as they did with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. There are points in the play where you can actually feel that you are indeed a part of the play. And, the opportunity to see different people that you may not have had the opportunity to see. And in many community theatre shows, you may get, won't say used to, or certainly not tired of, seeing the same people performing. We now have the opportunity to not only expand our audience, but to expand the players. And everyone brings their own unique touch to make that show just that little bit more special.
Well, if I wasn't already going to buy a ticket, I would buy one now from everything all of you shared.
Well, our pleasure.
We are going. Yes, thank you so much. We are going to mix some cast members up right now to meet more of you. So Jenny, Abigail, Hillary, and Madeline, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in just a few weeks. Have fun rehearsing. Simon left too, but that's okay.
I'm here. No, I haven't.
There's Simon, he's back as well as John and Bob.
You can't get rid of Simon that easy.
Rumors of my departure have been greatly exaggerated. But I can if you want.
Now we are joined by John Bissett and Bob Frame. Hello, gentlemen. John, can you tell us where you come from and who you're playing in The Tempest?
I currently live in Rome, New York, and I am playing the boatswain.
Are you related to Nick?
A little bit. He is my cousin, yes.
Okay. Not a very common last name, so maybe would have been a big surprise if you weren't. And Bob,
I should mention that he didn't even say he was going to audition for this show. He just kind of popped up. This has been such one of those weird dreams where your third grade teacher from you haven't seen in 100 years, and then your boss from your current job, and then someone from college, all show up at a diner together. That's kind of what auditions were like for this show. Everyone is from such very different places. Some I've never met, but the ones that I have are from so many different facets of my life that it was very interesting to see everyone show up and be wonderful.
That's exciting.
I have a question. Should I not be here?
You should be right where you are.
Oh, very good.
We can't get rid of Simon.
Try as you might.
Bob, who are you playing in The Tempest?
I'm playing King Alonzo. Of course, I'm the king.
The king. I'm not surprised. And Bob, you are very involved with theater in Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm usually working. I've been teaching at the Cayuga Community College since 1979, so for 100 years. And do a lot with the Auburn Players and the State University, the Theater Association, New York State too.
Yes, and I know because I've seen you do Shakespeare before, that you really enjoy participating in Shakespeare, don't you?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing, but I do enjoy the challenge of Shakespeare and trying to make it accessible to the people because it is a foreign language. I mean, one of the hardest things I do in my acting class is I have a monologue assignment and the students pick Shakespeare. And I say, don't pick Shakespeare. It's a foreign language. Why hit yourself for a basic acting class? So, I mean, one of my goals always when I'm doing Shakespeare is to understand the language and to share with the audience what I'm saying or what I mean, excuse me.
Yeah.
And Nick, of course, is great at telling us what we mean.
Bob, as the king in The Tempest, what is it, without maybe giving too much away, if we don't know The Tempest, what does your character do?
I cry a lot because the play starts with the Tempest with a boat wreck, hence the boatswain. And I believe I've lost my son. I believe my son has drowned, and I'm inconsolable, as it were.
But he has to fall in love still, right?
Well, he actually is really alive, because if he was dead, he couldn't fall in love. But
right.
Yes, that's part of Prospero's manipulations and machinations of how he's playing with us all. Yes, you, Simon.
Simon, have you been involved in Shakespeare before, or is this new to you?
Well, I could answer in a very silly way, but the truth of it is I've been involved in Shakespeare for about 40 years. So, as opposed to Bob, who is not only an excellent actor, but as a behind-the-scenes man techie, he is without comparison. So I guess the check cleared, Bob, by the way. But no, I've been enjoying Shakespeare for 40 years. It is, in fact, my favorite form of theatre. And so the opportunity to perform in The Tempest was on the bucket list, because that is one of the few Shakespeare plays I had not done before. And so when Nick reached out to me and offered me the role, I think I had said yes before he'd finished the sentence.
Now, Simon, since you've done so much Shakespeare in the past, do you have a favorite role or play that you've done?
Eva, there's been so many, but the ones that really have been a highlight for me, I would say, would be Titus Andronicus. And then to flip-flop to the other side, Benedict, Much Ado About Nothing. Certainly Falstaff, Henry IV, Part 1. And I would say one of the most difficult roles, and I'm not talking in line counts, because lines become irrelevant once you get on a roll, was in Measure for Measure, where I played Angelo. And they, for God knows why, had set it in Texas. So you've got to imagine wrangling, as it were, Shakespeare in a Texas accent, with the difficulties of one of Shakespeare's quote-unquote problem plays. So those, Polonius also was great fun, and indeed I had the opportunity to play Macbeth and in period. So that too have been those are pretty much my highlights, but there were so many other wonderful parts in the course of 40 years.
Yeah.
Friar Lawrence, I forgot Friar Lawrence. Yes, definitely.
Well, it sounds like Prospero is just another jewel in the Shakespeare crown.
Well, no doubt at all. So it's a very interesting role. You know, it's kind of Machiavellian, but there's some humor there, and you know, the opportunity, the modulation, and the interaction with the various characters, and the kind of subterfuge between he and Ariel. It really is fun.
Okay. And John, have you participated in Shakespeare before?
I haven't, and honestly, I have to be completely honest and say I haven't read Shakespeare since 2009.
Oh, for sure.
I've seen plenty of it, and there's just I lived in Texas, and there wasn't a whole lot of ability to be in Shakespeare, so never just had the opportunity.
What's been the biggest challenge of Shakespeare so far for you then?
Definitely the language. Going from the cold read, and I have a very small amount of roles compared to other people, but definitely listening and trying to speak the language and just keep up with everybody.
Do you find that gets easier? Has that gotten easier?
It has gotten a lot easier. I kind of am in the fortunate role where I come in, I kind of do my lines, and I just get to be enthralled by everyone else just doing a great job at these roles. So I have just gotten to experience it a whole lot more.
And John, don't sell yourself so short. He's very humble, but he's doing a fantastic job.
We're very grateful for directors and cousins. So, and for mix the group again, from the three of you, Simon, if you have another answer, that's great. But why should people buy a ticket to come to the Tempest?
It's fun. As Simon was saying earlier, I mean, one of the best things about this is, well, of course, the party box where people can party. I mean, there's a whole different environment where you can sit at home and watch your friends, put it up on the big screen TV, have a daiquiri or 6 or 7, and just have fun enjoying what's going on. It's the party box seems like almost a Rocky Horror Picture Show, even though I'm refused to wear the corset Nick asked me, and it's like, no, I won't do it. It should just be fun. No, shucks. We want an audience to show up, not run away screaming, Nick. But it's gonna be. We've been having fun in rehearsal, even though Nick's been beating on us. It's been great. So people should have fun to do it. And virtual is getting people out to get back in the theater. Please start getting your mind working again.
And on top of that, this cast has seriously been amazing. So far, it's been one of the best renditions of any Shakespeare I've ever seen. The party boxes are actually very exciting and amazing too.
So order a party box. You can order tickets and a party box all at the same time at theater444.com. It's a pretty simple process. You'll also find Pam took it away. You'll also find a very instructional video about how to get your party box featuring my face. So get a party box, buy tickets. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. I can't wait to see you all in the show. Do you have any final words before we bring other people in?
Let the crowds join you.
Right. Quite frankly, they should do themselves a favor. Not only is it a pandemic, but we're in winter. Nobody wants to be driving in, upstate New York weather. And even if you're down in California sipping a daiquiri, as we should be, given our tropical aspect here today, Shakespeare's there to entertain, and he survived 400 years, and there was a reason for that. So come and see what that reason was. But mind you, the idea of seeing Bob in a corset could possibly be an attraction or a detraction, depending on your point of view.
Part of my closet only certain people get to see.
Yeah, rightio. I'll PM you later.
John, why should people buy a ticket?
It's the best parts of going out, and you get to do it from your own home, especially if you get the party box. It comes with drinks, treats. You don't even have to get dressed up if you don't want to. And you get to go see Shakespeare. It is an amazing, hilarious play. And I sincerely think everyone should get the party box if you can. There's only a little bit longer left to get them, so if you're going to, you should.
That could be a tagline, theater in sweatpants.
There you go. Don't you think they'd be a little overdressed, Bob, given the wardrobe?
And on the other hand, if you want to dress to the nines and pretend you're really going out, you are more than welcome to do that too. It's up to you. Make this whatever kind of evening you want it to be.
Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you on our screens in just a few weeks.
Great. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey. We are now joined by Pat Fegley, Marianne Reisdorf, Lorelei Stevenson. I think, is that correct?
Good enough.
Great.
Lorelei.
And Jake Otteson. Welcome. Some new faces to Theater 444, which is also very exciting. So I would love to meet you and find out where you're coming from, how you find out about the Tempest, and what your role is in the Tempest. Marianne, can we start with you?
Sure. I'm a newbie, and I'm really excited to be working with so many professionals. I'm from Wyoming County, which probably nobody's ever heard of, but we're out here. And I've done some Shakespeare before, but it was outside with semis putting on their Jake brakes going by and mosquitoes. And oh God, it was a real tour de force. But this is so much easier. So, and I really love the idea of the party boxes. Oh, that's amazing. I really hope people get into that.
Very fun. Well, thank you for being here. Lorelai, can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, hi. I am currently in Raleigh, North Carolina, and playing the role of Sebastian. You know, the devious counterpart, I guess, to Jake. Although I feel like we're kind of more of an evil Timon and Pumbaa type of, you know, that's kind of our jam. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to be doing a show with people that I know and love from upstate New York. If you had told me even a year ago that something like this would be possible, I would have been like, fools. So, but here we are, and it's great.
I'm really sold on the evil Timon and Pumbaa reference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I hope Jake and Nick are also sold on that reference. So
we'll have to fight over who's who. I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah. We'll argue about it offline.
Frequently. And if you want to buy tickets to that as well.
I might have you eat live bugs now.
Yes.
Just to go the extra mile.
I've made a terrible error. Retract my pop culture shout
out. Jake, this is a great sort of segue into your introduction, if you will.
Well, when I was a young warthog, I grew up in Auburn, and I currently live in Portland, Oregon. So yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself in terms of how neat this experience is. You know, Nick and I have known each other for a long time. Nick works with my sister at Union Springs High School. They're both teachers there, but yeah, I've worked at for folks who know the Renaissance Festival, the Sterling Renaissance Festival. There in upstate New York. I worked there for a long time as an actor, and I've always loved interactive, immersive stuff. So that's why, you know, when Nick posted that, not only were they doing Shakespeare, but trying to make it more of an interactive, fun thing, I was intrigued, and it's been a blast.
Great. Well, welcome back virtually.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I should say, we are Timon and Pumbaa. I like that. So we're like an evil Timon and Pumbaa plotting the overthrow of everyone else while they're it's kind of the first time that I've been able to be a bad guy. So it's awesome. Yeah. Even if we are hilarious and inept, we're still evil, which is great.
Now, you're a servant group, right? Your characters are servants, more or less?
Well, I'm directly attending the king, so on them, you know. I mean, I'm the good guy. I'm the cheerful one. I'm the we'll get through this no matter what. And they kind of flit around the edges and try to bring us all down, right? They're sort of the snively whiplashes of the group, so.
Yeah, we're all like under the king in one way or another. I'm a duke and maybe don't wanna like give power up anymore. So there's evil plots happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've read it, but
no worries. You're doing great. Look at you, like juggling all this stuff to be a moderator. You're doing great.
I'm very excited, and now having met all of you here makes me look forward to March 26th to the 28th at 7 p.m. even more. And of course, last but not least, Pat, a Theater 444 standby.
Hi.
Excited to see you in anything that you do. So
thank
I
you.
can't wait. So other people might not know you, even though I do. So I will let you introduce yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking.
My name is Pat Fegley. I live in Clifton Springs, New York. I've done a bunch of shows over many years and quite a few with Theater 444. And it's always an exciting and fun time.
Now, Pat, have you done Shakespeare before?
I have. Once before, I was in a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream and I played Bottom, the donkey man. I also done Shakespeare Abridged, which many folks have. That doesn't really count, but
it's hilarious.
Yes, it is. It is.
You've played all the roles.
Yes, right, exactly.
Great. Pat, who are you playing in The Tempest?
I'm playing Stefano, who is the butler to the king and a drunken idiot. So just pure fun there.
Yeah. It sounds like fun.
It is. It is. It's all play, really.
I was just about to say, our performer who plays Ariel is here, so I am excited to switch on out of here and make room for another talented person to join the conversation.
Oh,
Nick.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see everyone at the show, virtually.
Exciting new faces. The anticipation.
Not
Who's
yet.
it gonna be?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not yet.
So good.
Well, while we wait with bated breath, what has been maybe the biggest challenge or surprise of presenting Shakespeare virtually in this experience so far?
I think for me, it's looking forward to the special effects that Garrett's coming up with. We've had just a little taste of that, and it's like, wow. So I've done some virtual things before, but nothing of this level. This is incredible.
That's very exciting. I know we mentioned earlier virtual fatigue, Zoom fatigue, and this is not that. This is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. I sold a ticket by saying I was drunken.
Yay!
I just saw that comment pop up.
That's all we need. A nice message from Marianne there from Sue. Any other challenges or surprises so far?
I would say like chemistry and timing, which is something that you kind of, gosh, dare I say, almost take for granted when you're on stage with somebody. And I know, especially working with Jake, I know that energy would probably feel different, or sometimes I do forget that the screen is there. So you kind of go back and forth between like, how is this even clicking and possible, to I wish I could crack the screen in half and go into the same time loop, wherever that would be, and actually be there in person. Because especially with comedy, and I'm sure, Pat, maybe you have similar experiences with the trio. It just, timing and chemistry and being on top of each other like that is just, it's everything. So creating that energy has been daunting and just delightfully surprising. So
Yeah, absolutely. You have to kind of learn a new skill set in terms of working off only what you're really hearing and imagining, rather than what you're seeing where you are in time and space. It's really interesting though, and it can be fun. But for me, this role is, like I said before, it's 100% just goofing around. So it's there's no stress at all. It's just like having fun. Well, the lines are a little stressful, but other than that.
Yeah, but there's a good repertory feel. People really trust each other. And that's half the battle, no matter what level of theater you're doing. If you've got a feeling of trust and you've got a camaraderie kind of going with the cast, it's incredible. I think we're working on that. It's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty remarkable, with everyone being in their own space, in their own rectangle. That speaks a lot to all of the energy that you bring to the environment that Nick is creating. So that's really great to hear.
Yeah.
And a great question from Sean about, can you describe what the virtual rehearsal experience has been like? I'm assuming even just technically, you get a link that tells you a time and you click on it and you show up, right? You don't even have to leave your home.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Some really, that's acting right there.
Yeah.
That's,
Take notes. That's what acting looks like.
Yeah.
You basically stand in one spot and try not to move out of frame, but try to do everything you need to do without moving out of frame. And remember where you're supposed to look. Sometimes that's not so important in this production, but trying to remember where people are in relation to you.
Yeah. Do you ever try to make eye contact during rehearsal? Because I know I feel like a weirdo. Because me, I'm like, I'm making eye contact with Bob, but really, I'm not making eye contact with Bob.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think
it is strange.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but I think that Nick, full credit to Nick for being sort of a conductor more than anything of where to look, where to enter, and where to exit, because it does not feel natural, and it even doesn't feel like it's some strange hybrid of like film acting and theater acting, but you're by yourself trying to. You rely a lot on like you said, the timing. Like you're just listening to the timing and trying to feel into it. But so I think that because Nick is like cued into that the whole time, along with Mackie, it seems to be such a high priority that a lot of our rehearsal time is spent. Like first we talk about what's going on in the scene and the characters, but then a lot of it is, okay, now how do we? Even if it feels strange, if I go to hand a character something, how does that work? Do I do and look, I got it. But it's funny what the human brain will accept, and we have Nick to trust to guide us in that. It's neat.
Yeah. And sometimes right is left and left is right.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Camera view gets switched. It's confusing.
So just different style of theater with all new challenges.
But it's still theater.
Still fun.
That's something that's a lifeblood for a lot of us, that you got to do it. And it's so gratifying to be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. I'm excited to see all of you in just a couple of weeks. Thank you for joining tonight. It's nice to meet all of you. And everyone should buy tickets to see Marianne and Lorelai and Jake and Pat in The Tempest.
Yes.
One of my favorite Theater 444 videos right there. So silly. Hello, new faces to me. Welcome to our Theater 444. Meet the cast of The Tempest. This is Olivia Bonk. Is that right?
Sure. Bank, bonk, it's all the same.
Bank. And I thought for sure it wouldn't be Bank, but it actually Bank.
Either way works. My dad immigrated to the U.S. and it was bonk, and then they changed it to bank, but everyone says bonk anyway, so I accept it.
Okay. Well, fancier.
Indeed. That's what I've heard.
And Matt Tucker and Brian O'Connor, welcome. So where do you all come from, and what is your role in The Tempest? If we start with maybe Olivia, Matt, and then Brian.
Sure. So I'm currently living in Rochester, but I'm originally from downstate, right north of New York City, in Westchester, New York, and I'm playing Miranda, Prospero's daughter, teenage lover.
Great.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. My name is Matt Tucker. I am playing Ferdinand and Caliban, a bit diametrically opposed roles. Ferdinand is the lover, the fighter, the scrappy one. while Caliban is the big old monster of the play who kind of wants to wreck everything. And the way they go about their roles is just hilariously different.
Yeah, talk about two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Like I've never, I did probably the closest thing to this. I did a Jekyll and Hyde a long time ago, where I played Hyde, but I never had to play Jekyll too. So it's a bit of a different experience.
Well, thank you. Welcome, Brian.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian O'Connor. I play Trinculo. I'm Alonzo's gesture and one of what Nick calls the Three Stooges. I hang around with Caliban and Stefano a lot, and yeah, we're having a great time.
So you get to share screen time with Pat, right?
Yes, my first time too. Wish someone had warned me. It was. It's been great. It's first time for Theater 444, so first time seeing a lot of these people. So having a great time with them.
Yeah. Now, and just because I'm curious, how did the three of you hear about Theater 444 and The Tempest?
I heard about the show through a post in the Facebook group, Greater Rochester Audition Hotline. Just saw a post about auditions, and I was like, yes, please. I have been very starved for theater lately in quarantine.
Well, I myself heard about this casting from Nick and Lauralee, who are two of my real life friends. So they allowed me to audition, and yeah, it was nice.
Great.
Yeah, I saw a shared post from Nick about Theater 444, and he's directing this virtual Shakespeare, and it sounded great. Yeah, just like Olivia, I've needed theater back, So, yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone been part of Shakespeare before, or is this a first?
This is the first for me.
Yeah. And Olivia and Brian, you both nodded your heads. Yes, you've been part of Shakespeare before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my freshman year of college, I was in Much Ado About Nothing, playing Watch Number 1. Then senior year of college, I played Touchstone in As You Like It, and then this will be my third Shakespeare outing.
Great.
Yeah, I'd say Shakespeare is kind of like my thing. I love Shakespeare. The first Shakespeare show I ever acted in, which was like 7 years ago, was The Tempest, and I played Brian's part, Trinculo, who's one of my favorites of all time. And I did Trinculo again in a sort of reading. I've been in Midsummer Night's Dream. I directed Measure for Measure, which is my first favorite Shakespeare play, above only Tempest. Tempest, I'd say, is my second favorite, but I love Measure for Measure a lot too. And I've studied Shakespeare in Oxford as well. I love Shakespeare.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Toby is saying, we can barely hear you, Brian.
Is this any better? Hope so.
I think you're a little louder. The joys of even more technical theater than normal. So what has been the biggest challenge so far for you in this virtual experience?
Really, it's just you take so many things for granted. Being in the same space as somebody, being able to watch their whole body and interact with that, but really it's a completely different story when you're just looking at the torso and the head. Like a shrug used to be this, but now you kind of have to put a little more chutzpah into it, and you have to exaggerate almost everything, especially in the Three Stooges scenes. It can be very challenging with the lag sometimes, and it's a completely different story than live theater.
Yeah,
Olivia,
I'm sorry.
I was agreeing with everything Brian was saying, especially with like trying to make sure that you're staying in full view of camera while being exaggerated at the same time. It's almost like contradictory.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a big fan of Meisner technique, which in acting is all about like very natural responses and getting everything from the people around you. So it's so hard when it's like we have to do the exact opposite of everything that I've been trained to do, because you can't look at people and feel what they're saying and respond. You have to, through rehearsals, memorize how they say things so that you can respond as you're looking at the camera instead of at them. Because we're just staring at the camera, so you don't really see people as they're talking a lot of the time. Yeah, it's so much more difficult.
That's fascinating. It's really forcing you to approach acting in a very different way.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Oh, goodbye.
Oh no, Brian.
I am sort of obsessing over this idea of the Tempest as a party. Of course, all of our marketing for the Tempest is very party driven. We chatted about it earlier with Nick and Garrett and Mackenzie. But for you, from your experience so far, how is the Tempest a party? Why are people going to have a good time?
I mean, the Tempest just is a party. Half the people are trashed the entire time. So it's great. Yeah, you've got half the people are drunk. You've got me and Matt just flirting in the corner. Like it's a true party. Take it from someone who just finished college. I think it'll be really fun. I'm also a huge fan of Rocky Horror. So when I heard that we were doing the kind of immersive theater where you have the materials to play along, I thought that was so exciting. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, same thing here. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is so much fun, and I was so on board when Nick said that that's what he was trying to almost recreate through the as much as we can here in COVID times.
Yeah, Brian, we'd ask, how is the Tempest a party? Do you have a response for us?
Yeah, so sorry about that. I just cut out there. But yeah, I mean, it's I bet everybody said this, but it's like Rocky Horror. I mean, the props, the recipes for cocktails. I mean, it's something you can really immerse yourself in. And, you know, 3 of us will be just as drunk, but not really. Right.
Not really.
Right.
No,
I suppose we would never know. No, something that I didn't ask the other groups that I do want to ask you about quickly is that you are in costumes at home, correct? So this is definitely more than just a read of the Tempest. You've got costumes. The way that it's all being put together is very elaborate. So it should be really fun to look at.
Yeah, we've also had to, even though we're kind of in our own boxes, it's definitely more than a read, because we do have blocking. We have, I guess, the choreography of the show. It was just, instead of, walk from stage left to stage right on this line, it's like lean into the camera, look at the bottom left of the screen and nod. So we've taken exactly the same kind of format of how you would rehearse a play and put a play together, but translated it for the screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Olivia and I got to see. We have a whole puppet show. We got to see that the other day, and it looks incredible. It's so much fun.
Wonderful, Brian. Any last words for us?
I mean, the cast and crew is great. The show is great. Everything looks fantastic from what I've seen, and I can't even imagine what I haven't. It looks great. You should definitely get a ticket. Don't miss out on this one. It's fantastic.
Wonderful. Well, it was nice to meet all 3 of you. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in the Tempest in just a few weeks. And everybody watching at home, we are going to take a brief commercial break before Pam has a big announcement.
Hi, Greg.
Pam, I am so happy to just sit here with you.
That's a big cast, right? I mean, that's a lot of people.
A lot of people, but so many fun personalities, and it's so obvious how much everyone is really enjoying being part of the Tempest. So
yeah, I mean, I think the exciting part really is knowing that all of these people are in so many different places. I mean, Australia to Oregon. I mean, that's just nuts. It's just crazy. So it's super fun. It's exciting. Tickets are on sale. They're being sold right now. Let me put my little ticker up here so you can see that. And party boxes really need to be ordered this week if you want one, because we're going to ship next Saturday, because we want to make sure everybody gets their box in time for the show. And we know that shipping right now is running behind because of everything. So we're trying to give ourselves a lot of time to make sure folks get their materials for the show. So if you want a party box, you better get one soon. And honestly, there's really only about 20 boxes left. We've sold about 50 boxes already. So
wow. And it sounds like the box is really the way to go. So if you want a box, order it tomorrow, right now. Just do it.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So we're excited. And we're excited that we have another show that's coming up. We've been planning. We've been trying to figure out what to do next. And you know me, I'm a musical girl. I love musical theater. And so in this time, and you know, in Nick's vein, when he's talking about wanting things to be light and happy and fun right now, because that's what the world needs right now. We're going to keep going with that. We're going to have something light and fun and exciting. And I'm super excited about it because let me play this quick video to give you a clue. Okay. Be doing Nonsense. We're so excited. And Nonsense has like a ton of, I mean, most people have seen Nonsense, but it's just so fun. It's such a great script and it's just super fun. But this, it has a lot of different reincarnations, that show. But
clearly,
yes, we're not doing the original version. We are doing Nonsense, Amen. And basically what that means is all of the nuns are being played by men. So
how could that not be a good time?
How can that not be the greatest time ever, right? I mean, it's just going to be so much fun. Yay! Yes, Kevin, we're going to call you. We need you for that. So go ahead, Greg.
Nonsense is going to be live streamed. The cast will be performing live together and that will be streamed much like Daddy Longlegs, correct?
Yes, we are gonna be together in a room performing, and then it will be live streamed out as well. Yep, just like we did with Daddy Longlegs. So it'll be a little bit different than the Tempest, but we're always trying to try new things and do things differently. And so this is the next step for us, is to get what we love to do, and some real hearty, silly musical theater. So we're excited. And we have an all-star cast that we are so excited about. We're not going to tell you who yet, but that is coming soon. And I'll just reiterate, it's going to be in May on the 20th through the 23rd. And so mark your calendars, because it's going to be a hoot. I'm super excited about it.
And I just saw that, I read that it was vocal direction by Meredith Beckley, who is wonderful.
Yes.
We love her.
We love her. We love her. We love her. So Meredith, my crew is coming back in play. Rochelle Coons will be doing stage managing for me. And of course we have Garrett Coons, who's doing all the technical directing, which is huge, a huge project. And Kathy Collins will be doing some camera work for us again. So we are just super excited to get back at it. We're super excited about it. So yeah.
Exciting.
Yay. So spread the word and get your tickets to the Tempest, because they are going fast. If you want a party box, you better get one this week, because there aren't many left. And we're super proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish during this pandemic. It's been tricky, but we've managed to get through it with some really great pieces of theater. So we're super proud of that.
Well, as always, thank you for having me this evening to be
Thank
part of
you.
what you're doing. And I can't wait to see the Tempest.
Me too. So see everybody on the island, I guess, right?
Yeah, we'll see you on the island. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.